Press record.
Sure. We're recording.
And when would you say you first kind of noticed you had a stutter?
I've always had a stutter since I started talking.
It's just almost part of who I am.
And I'm not sure if it was an age thing or something, but for, I started the school year that year, all of a sudden being aware that my words came out differently than others.
Where I thought, oh God, I've started stuttering. So as long as I can remember, I've had an issue. Having said that, in the first 6 or 7 years of my life, I don't actually recollect stuttering.
Yeah, it just, in the friends I've spoken to, even from back then, they said, no, I always had a stutter, but even before grade 7, but for some reason in grade 7, something just clicked and I said, oh, I'm different and this is different, so I'm just gonna recluse myself. And
I guess the emotions that a normal stutterer goes through, but I can't really recollect being fluent either. So that's a part of life, which is, of course, I was very young then. Firstly, I was really lucky. I went to a all boys school.
from my memory, it was grade 7.
Grade 1 to grade 12. It was a very strict Catholic school.
And then having the speech impediment didn't help with not being bullied.
But the good part was, it was the same people all the way through. So they knew me, they just knew me.
Unfortunately, children are cruel, and they can be cruel, right? And to anyone that has any sort of differences.
People who stutter, we sometimes don't live life to the fullest, and I really believe that, because
Even if I knew the answer, I would not raise my hand.
your body is changing, your voice is changing.
When you're in the same class with the same people for 4 years, they all know you stutter.
And absolutely nothing came out.
I'm not really trying to hide it. They all know you stutter, and it is what it is.
The good part was the teacher kind of gave me an indifferent look. Probably seen enough stutterers in his life. Didn't try, and I think that was a good reaction. He didn't say anything. Whereas some of the new students in the class kind of looked up thinking, well, what's wrong with this guy?
On the one side, it's an opportunity to make a new impression. So you're like, okay, great. I stuttered in the last class. Maybe I won in this class.
God, what's wrong with me? I can't even pronounce my own name.
But it's also false hope, because I haven't lost a stutter because my classmates have changed.
I didn't undergo teasing or bullying, but I definitely held back a lot. I did not put up my hand, even if I knew the answer. If the teacher asked a tough question, even if I knew the answer, I would hesitate putting my hand up, and I was always kind of holding back, except with my really close friends. I used to go for maths tuitions when I was in school, and there was a girl there who was from a different school, but she used to come to my tutor. And whenever I used to hear her speak, I used to think she's got the same problem as I do. And she's quite good looking, and I had a crush on her, and I thought, man, looks good, comes from the same maths tuition class, has a stuttering problem, tick, tick, tick. I can get somewhere with her. She was cycling once, and I went behind her on my cycle, chased her, and I kind of went right next to her and said, can I talk to you for a second? She said, yeah, what's it? And I said to her, look, I understand you've got a stuttering problem. I want to confess, I have a stuttering problem as well. Then I was kind of lost for words, but I wanted to establish this commonality between her and I. And she looked up to me and said, no, what gave you that idea? I don't have any stuttering problem. Yeah, what else do you want to say? And I still recollect looking at her with a blank face, kind of, where do I go from here? I've got nowhere to, what's my plan B?
Yeah, I'm not aware of anyone in my family, so I would say I'm the only one in my family, both immediate and distant. My son exhibited what I thought was stuttering. And again, I'm probably a bit more acute to listening for.
Yes, my family has a stutter. My mother's brother. Say if we ever go to a restaurant, and then when the waiter comes, he'll kind of go, oh yeah, I'll have a beer. He's got this very unique way of talking. So the waiter is bound to think that this guy was thinking, and no one, I don't, even after seeing him all my life, I don't know if he's thinking or if he's having a stutter.
I think I joined as soon as I moved here. Just being part of an association was important to me. The first thing I did was Googled stuttering in Australia just to see what association was here, and then I found Speakeasy, and there was a conference happening in Sydney within the first month that I moved here. So I told my wife, I said, I need to fly to Sydney and see what's happening. Yeah, so I think I joined straight away.
A stutterer feels quite lonely at times, especially when they're young. They think that only they have the problem, and I think the stutterer could get almost caught up in why me, what did I do to deserve this? But now I can look back and say, I've got a speech impediment by which it's taking me a few more seconds to get my point across. Really, is that the end of the world?
If you have a stutter, first of all, it doesn't have to define who you are. Like your entire life doesn't have to revolve around your speech. And meeting other people who stutter, it will help you feel empowered, if anything.
That was great.
Good, thank you. Yeah.
Smooth talkers. Okay, all right. Is that based on smooth speech? Oh, it is. Okay, all right. Interestingly enough, so I haven't done smooth speech, which is funny because I am the national president of the Australian Speakeasy Association.